Okay, let's get started. Okay, where do we leave it off from yesterday? We left it at I had implemented a simple query builder. So we now have the metadata query builder. And given that we have the metadata query builder, now we can take this stuff out of here. So we can take this, these go away, this goes away. Boop, boop, okay. So now we go down here, builder equals new metadata query builder dot add tags okay, builder dot string okay. So here we have another one where we have builder new metadata query builder, and between dates there we go, and builder equals new metadata query builder location Alright, so if we run our tests, let's quickly take a look at the coverage we have. We find we are at pretty high level of coverage on the stuff that we've actually attacked. Okay, great. Alright, so we've gotten rid of our janky little query string concatenation. We have something a little bit more purposeful, and we're ready to attack these find excuse me, find methods. So let's create a metadata query, and this is a struct. And in this struct we'll have tags, and this will be a string slice. We'll have I want to do a date range. Start date and end and we have located at, that is a string. Okay. And we have a find method which just takes our context, right? We have to take our context, and our query, which is a metadata query, returns a slice of metadata, possibly an error. And now, in order to have something implement the metadata server interface, we need to implement our find method. So and I'm going to have it return a not implemented error until we implement it. Okay. So now if we go to the test function, we can do let's go to relatively where, there we go, relatively where it would be in the order of operations. So we're going to test the find function. So we're going to create our test database reference. And just in case you forgot, what I did is I wrapped the database reference in another type, so I could mock out that other type instead of hitting the database directly. And expect query return rows. And okay, now we need to build a query object, right? So this is a metadata query which we're going to fill in with some tags. And foo var, right? We're going to fill it in with a location. I'm sorry, we're going to fill it in with a start date. And we're just going to do and we'll have located at home. Okay. So now we can pass this query. And okay. If error not equals nil, game over. There's nothing to test. Error return from find. Now, if just like these, we're going to look and see if len metadata not equals 2. Expected 2 results, but got. All right. If len so we expect the first metadata result to have 2 locators. Oops, forgot my comma there. Expect it to have 2 locators, so to have one locator okay, so we expect that, and if we run this right, we should get an error, right? So yes, there's a data find that's errored out, right? Because we're returning this, returning back an error. So let's go through this. So query, no, we can't call it query because we used that already. Let's call it builder, new metadata query builder. Now if len query dot tags greater than 0, right? If the tags are greater than 0, then we have to we have the tags. If query dot start date there's 0 value for time, it might just be let's look it up. 0 value for time. What is the variable? Okay, that seems like, what is the 0 value? Is 0. Okay. If not, that start date is 0 or query or not end date. And this is between dates. If query dot located at not equals, then we add a location. Now we want to execute error equals DMS query, and so we're passing in our context. We're passing in builder.string. Now we got to pass in our arguments. So how are we going to build this? We're going to build this by creating an array, or sorry, a slice of args. Okay. Args, let's append args, and we're going to go ahead and splat in the tags. Oh, okay. So we can't splat that in because they're a different type. So we can convert those. Um, We need to convert those strings to interfaces. So for each tag, yeah, that works. All right, so this case we have the dates are not 0. So what it doesn't like about here is there we go. So in this case, and we're going to query start date, query. All right, it's happy with that. And equals append. Okay. And all right. So now all we have to do is if error not equal nil, return nil error. Defer rows dot close. Let's see. Return DMS dot process rows. Okay. Now if I run it, I should pass. Excellent. Okay. So now we can fix this. So we can just do what do we call that here? We call it builder query equals data query tags, and we're just going to tags. And we can just return dms.find. There we go. Same thing here. Query and in this case we just have start date and we will go ahead and return dms.find ctx and query, and same thing here. Query and return DMS. All right, so that makes for some lovely dry code. And we have an error, find by date range. Could not, oh, find by date range did not work. And what line, okay. All right, in this case, we have an unmatched SQL. So the easiest way to do this is to go ahead and debug this test. Get rid of that breakpoint. Okay, here we go. Find by date range. What our start and end are both 0. Okay. That's why it's failing. So actually our test was bad. Let's see. So first things first. We actually do need to take the error out of here. If error not equals nil, let's go ahead and game over at this point. Expected a valid date, but got, let's say failed to parse date. So let's do the same thing here. Go ahead and run it. Aha. It does not like, but that's correct, right? So we have year, month, day, okay, T, and then hours, minutes, seconds, then Z, then it should be fine for -4. We'll just do +4. Let's try it now. extra 0400. Let's try it now. Same line. Let's get rid of that. Okay, I got year, month, day, T, hours, minutes, seconds, hours, minutes, seconds, hours, minutes, seconds, Z, Hmm. And yet, let's try that. What if we got rid of the time zone and the pattern and just went with that? Yay, we moved on to the next one. Okay. So I'm going to have to do some digging as to why that was happening, but we can go ahead and just skip the time zone. Awesome. Okay. Now it parsed, but it did show an error, which is so let's go back and to find func test find. Let's do it empty query parameters. So we're going to do the same thing here. So we're going to create a metadata query, but this time it is going to be empty. And we're going to verify that these are true. Let's keep my error message consistent. So let's run this. And yep, that's what I was expecting, right? So if the values are blank, so if we go to the builder and if we don't call add front matter, we wind up with just the order by. So if we don't ever call add front matter because we don't call any of these functions, we just get this. So we need a little bit better. So let's create our test for this. No, what do we call these? No methods called, but I guess we'll go with that. So we'll do QB new metadata query builder. So we're just going to call string on it. And what should the target be in this case? The target should be, in my opinion, that's fine. There should be no where clause. That should be the target. All right, so let's run this, just this one file. Actually, let's run the whole thing. Okay, so as expected, we did not get a full query. So what's one way we can handle this? Well, what we could do is if we got down here and we if we could just check to see if this len is equal to 0, meaning we have no parameters, and we haven't built up any query at this point. We return unfortunately front matter adds this where. So because front matter adds the where, because it adds the where, we can't just, so for now we could just do this. Oh, we're gonna have to redo this. So so let's get it right first. Okay, so now everything works, right? So if we have an if we don't set up any of the, if we don't ever wind up, if we just create a builder and just use that to build an empty query, we get what I think is reasonable behaviors. We select everything with no where clause. Okay, that sounds good. And otherwise, we go through and redo the sprintf. What I don't like about this is I feel like we should have only one of these. Okay, so let's do this. Okay. So sprintf %s where, and we're going to pass query base. And down here we're going to do okay, let's run it now. Oops. From, let's put this in quote a comment so it's not getting any weird formatting. So so what do we get? Actually get up. It's an easy enough fix, missing a space. All right, we're good. Okay. So, okay, our metadata service now is a little bit tighter. And let's go back to image. So we have locations in the query as a link, as a slice. You know, that makes a lot of sense. And I know what I was thinking at the time, and that is location 1, location equals, or location equals $. 4. So that way we could do group of locations. So that's an easy enough thing to handle. So let's go back into here. Let's do multiple locations. So what do we want to do? We want to return QB. So do nothing for now, and let's go to the test. Let's put this ahead of the string tests. Actually, let's put it down here. So we want to do the multiple location test. So what do we want to see? So let's go back and get this, which is our location query, right? So what do we want to see here? We want to see at locations, and do we pass the location? Nope. Nope, we're just going to pass the number of locations, right? Because we don't actually care about the array of locations, we just care about the length. At locations 3, where, and this is the where clause we want, or okay, let's go ahead and run that test. Okay, so at locations isn't working for us. So let's go implement that. So let's add the front matter. Let's do for I equals qb.idx, I less than qb.idx. So if I is 2, and we've got 3 of these, it's going to go from 2, 3, 4, and we want to be less than qb.idx plus nlocks and I plus plus, right? Okay, so I is going to go from 2 to 4, 2, 3, 4. So we are going to add qb.b.writeString and this is an sprintf, right? And that becomes I. Right, so this would be location equals $2, $3, $4. Great. If I less than qb.idx plus nlocks minus 1, right? We want to join these with an OR. All right, and qb.p.writeString, closing the paren. All right, and now let's test that. And we're passing. Okay. Let's go ahead and just make sure that this plays well with at tags and locations dot at tags to tags. All right, so what we should see where let's go grab our so what we should see is this. All right, let's check that out, make sure that's what we get. Okay, let's see what we're wrong. Okay, select from where order by but got. Bet you it's going to be a space issue. So let's see where. Okay, so $1, $2, and location. Oh, my test is wrong. This would be 3, 4, 5. Right. Okay. And let's just make sure the reverse is true. So what if I call these in the opposite order? And so if I do this, I should see location, and this is 1, 2, or 3, and this is 4, and this is 5. So that's what I should see. So let's go check that out. Make sure my test is correct this time. And 3, 2. At locations 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Let's just take a look and see what happened. Aha! I have a logic error in the tags calculation. Okay, so let's go and look at the tags calculation. Add tags. Okay, so I equals qb.idx. Great. Great, that's correct. That looks correct, but yet so this is what we're expecting. So this add tags. So definitely the issue is with add tags. So this should have been 1, 2, 3, right? Then we should have had I equals 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's debug this test and see what's going on. Let's go ahead and step into this. Now let's take a look at I. Oh, I never set the new I. Now we should be okay. Okay, our query builder can now handle multiple locations and appears to be doing the correct thing. So we can go back to our metadata service and we can change this from that to this, right? Let's do this one so far. So let's go back to the find method. So if when close out a bunch of these windows. Let's flip that back. Okay. Let's do, how do we want to do this? So find should be right. And so this should be that. Now this breaks in a couple of places. And it breaks down here. So now we should be able to run it. Just do a test. Okay, good. We are going to need to fix those to make those a little bit better because I feel like we're not testing the SQL as well as we should. So now what we want to do is first test find with multiple locations. Okay, find multiple locations. So let's go back to our builder test, and let's get the SQL. Let's get that SQ. I'll get rid of this comment. Let's go get the SQL we expect. So in this case, we're doing a find, and we're passing in tags, 2 tags, and it is the column is date captured between $3 and $4. Let's take a look at these. Since I'm kind of new to this, the pattern matching here, I want to figure it out. So just make this comment. From where Okay, so the multiple location case wasn't handled. That's fine. That is kind of expected. So let's go to our find method. If len query dot located at greater than 1. Yep. Now let's run it. Okay, let's see what went wrong this time. Start a comment and select from where can't match the regular expression. That's interesting, where location equals 6 or 6. That's not right. Builder equals builders at location. So let us go and debug this. Okay, let's step into that. So handle our tags. All right, so we write that. What's qb.idx? IDX is 5. The first one should be 5, right? So if I were to do to do copy value, let's pop open something that text edit. Oh. Okay. Computing the full value calls. Okay. Get rid of that. All right, so now we go through those. And we'll just go ahead and continue out. Okay, so let's take a look. From, where, order by. Select, from, where, order by. So that's interesting. Location equals $6, or location equals $4, or sorry, $6 or $6. We know that when we went through the metadata query builder, it did add $5 and $6. Well, you know what? It's enough for today. I will figure this out tomorrow. But this is an interesting little issue. I'm sure it's something simple I'm missing, but I'm not catching it, and I need to get some other stuff done today. So that's it for today.